344 at Scott and BR on the Mighty 1090. Yeah. Uncle Teddy Leitner's going to join us, give us his thoughts on Coach Fisher's retirement. The voice of the Aztecs will be here. Akil Quinn, longtime dog of the Scott and BR show.
Long-time dog.
AQ will be in the house later on today. Coach Fisher at 5 p.m.
No, I can't wait for that.
And lots of time to take phone calls from Aztec fans that would like to wish Coach Fisher well in his retirement. If you've got something you got to get off your chest, or you got one of those Coach Fisher anecdotes or stories, we'll have time for you to jump in. Tim Shelton, Billy Ray, played at San Diego State from 2007 to 2012. He was there when this team really started to become what it has. I mean, I know it's been down the last 2 years, but he was part of that team in 2010-11 that was 34-3, went to the Sweet 16. This guy has now gone from player to director of player development, so he sat on the bench for every game. He traveled with the team. I mean, he has become a Steve Fisher coaching prodigy. Mm-hmm. And here he is, back on Scott and BR, longtime Aztec great, Tim Shelton, back on the radio.
Going?
Yo, yo, yo. What up?
Oh, man.
He wasn't calling you a yo-yo.
No.
He just said yo-yo-yo.
He's trying to fit in.
What's up, man?
Right.
Everything's good. I think I've had the most titles, different titles on this show. I was a rap prodigy at one point.
Right,
so.
you were. That was back in the day. But here's what's happened. Here's two things have happened. One, you decided to give up the rapping and go into the coaching, at least as far as we know. And then secondly, you seem to have handed off the baton, if you will, to Akil Quinn, who now has like a full-blown rapper career. He uses the N-word all the time. There's like smoke in all the videos.
Talks about
the
girls.
There's hoochie mamas.
The bees.
Yeah, dude.
He always had the talent. He just took over the spotlight part of it, man. Akil is. I'm proud that he's pursuing his dream, and pursuing one of his passions. I enjoy listening to his music. Obviously, there are certain parts that aren't politically correct, and you wouldn't like to always hear or have your kids hear. But I'm excited that he's having an opportunity to pursue his passion and his dream, and I think that's part of what growing up is all about. And I'm excited for him in that sense.
But aren't you a little bit competitive? I mean, aren't you going to go back and try to out-rap him?
Are you going to remix Game Time Ready, dude?
Right.
I will give all that up for a team free throw percentage that's 8% better next year.
There you go.
Well done. Well done.
So
wow.
should we then assume that now that Coach Fisher has retired, that you will move up and you will become the team's free throw shooting coach?
I think those assumptions have already been made. Nothing's been set in stone, and obviously, there are certain things that have to happen and certain things that have to be discussed. So I'm not quite sure all the way, but obviously, either way, my goal is to help SDSU and Dutch, and whatever role is asked of me, I'll do with great enthusiasm and energy and effort like I have in the past,
Yeah, but hold on a second. We're talking to Tim Shelton, former great Aztec ball player who now has been a part of the coaching staff since his graduation. DJ Gay told us yesterday that you and DJ had a guys trip planned to Coachella next weekend and that you had to bail once Coach Fisher retired because now you think you're going to be out on the road recruiting. Is this right?
Well, what I told him exactly was that I wanted to be available. I wanted to make sure I was available for whatever was needed of me. I did cancel, and I was like, man, I'm sorry. We've gone for the last 3 years together. We're both big music lovers. And music festival is something we love to go to. But I was like, man, it's more about availability. Everything's still kind of up in the air, and obviously this program has been built on a lot of loyalty. So, I would, the assumption is that I would be able to move into that slot, but it's not a for sure thing yet. Obviously, it's not about me. It's about the program and what's best for men's basketball. And if that's me moving forward, that would be great. If not, I'll still approach my job the exact same way.
And if you're really a great recruiter, you can actually go to Coachella and look for talent.
Right. There's no talent out there. What's the deal?
Right.
Why don't you make it a business trip?
That would be a very different approach.
Not bad.
Just throwing it out there. I mean, you tell these recruits, come meet me at Coachella. Right. Take care of you, kid.
Uh-huh.
Tim Shelton, when you think back to the 2010-2011 season, the Sweet 16, the 34-3 year, the 2 losses during the regular season to BYU, and then beating them in the Mountain West Conference tournament, when you think back to that, though, and if a kid were to ask you, tell us about that year and Kawhi and Coach Fisher and that team, that is the team that put this program on the map and raised expectations. What is the story you tell of that time, of that team?
I would probably start with the NCAA tournament experience right before that that year when we played and we got beat by Tennessee. And, we prepared pretty well, and our team was pretty focused then. When we lost the Tennessee game the year before and we understood that we had that group coming back, our conversations and the buzz around practices and workouts over the summer were that we were special. We knew we were good. We knew that we should dominate certain opponents, and we knew that we had a chance to win every single game. And we approached it that way. There was a lot of accountability within the team. So the coaches obviously said their piece and had groomed us the year before and had started to establish a different type of culture, on the Mesa. And we understood that we had a chance to win every game, and I think we approached it that way. So it really started that summer. And then once we got into practice in September, October, it was so competitive. It was one of the most competitive environments I've ever been in, and not much had to be said to get that group going from the first guy to the last walk-on in terms of preparation and practice and going at each other competitively every single day. Not one guy wanted to miss a practice because of how much better we were making each other and the type of focus we had on our long-term goal, which we believed was not only to make the NCAA tournament, but be the team that won that first NCAA tournament game.
Boy, it's really interesting to hear you talk about that because the parallels are there. Coach Fisher retires and hands this team off now to the longtime head coach in waiting, Brian Dutcher. And when you look at this team, and Coach mentioned it today during the press conference, he looked at Malik Pope. He mentioned him by name. He looked at Trey Kell and did the exact same thing to him. You guys are the seniors. It's your program. And like you're talking about, Tennessee the year before knocked you guys out. It was a great experience. This team, this upcoming year with a new coach, should be hungrier than even you guys were because you'd made it to the NCAA tournament. This group didn't play in the postseason. They've got to be inspired by the notion of rebuilding what had been built. Don't you think, Tim?
Absolutely. And I think I love the response I got from our guys. We had the speech, and we all found out yesterday. And our guys, last night I talked to quite a few of them, and their responses were wonderful to me and how excited they were for Dutch, how happy they were for Coach, but in moving forward, how excited they were to play for Dutch, because they understand what type of work he's put in. They understand what type of guy he is. They understand what type of leadership qualities he has and the things that he showed them throughout their time here. And they were so excited to get going and to get playing again, but not only just because of their names on the back and the name on the front, but for Brian Dutcher and everything he's worked for. So if there's going to be an extra fire or extra passion involved with who they are as players, it's definitely there. I can sense it already, and it'll be nice to see moving forward throughout the summer.
Tim Shelton, the longtime Aztec player, longtime Aztec assistant basketball coach on Scott and BR on the Mighty 1090. Tim, let me ask you this before you go. When did you find out, and what did Coach Fisher say to you?
I felt like I found out in the morning before our meeting, and what gave it away was our athletic trainer, Sergio Ibarra, was up in the office around the time we usually meet. And I was like, what are you doing up here so soon? And he was like, Coach asked me to come sit with you guys.
Oh, boy.
So there was a little bit of a difference in that aspect of it. And then we all sat down, and then Leanna, our receptionist, came in and sat down with us. And I was like, this is the most people we've had in our staff meetings. And Coach then, his tone changed a little bit. And he said, I want to let you guys know I'm going to hand the reins over to Dutch. And then Dutch was like, your salary? No. And we were all cracking jokes a little bit, but we were all a bit surprised, and Coach made it a point to state that, he's like, I understand that you guys could sense my urgency, when we didn't make the tournament and we were sitting there watching the NCAA tournament and we're at home, and, Coach hit the ground running when we came back, and he was very, very gung-ho of sorts about getting the workouts and how we were going to get things organized and the type of mentality we wanted to have towards our players' nutrition and how we wanted to detail and organize the workouts. So Coach's every move and energy, his enthusiasm was, suggesting that he would come back, and he surprised us for sure yesterday morning, and everyone was excited, a little bit of mixed feelings, of course, because of who he is and what he means to a lot of us, but an overall happiness for him and his family and his decision, excitement for the future for Dutch, obviously. Good smiles and thoughts toward, what he's done for the university, for the city. And just overall, I think it was more of a positive vibe than anything. And we're just happy for him and happy for Dutch, you know.
Yep, we do know. Tim Shelton, is great to talk to you always. Nice to see you earlier today at the press conference. We look forward to seeing you again real soon, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Always, man, always.